Let's review the concept of evaluating functions. So in this case, we have f of x equals 9x plus 7, and we're asked to evaluate f of 3. So to evaluate f of 3, we replace all instances of x in the function with 3. So this becomes 9 instead of 9x, 9 times 3 plus 7. So 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 plus 7 is 34. So f of 3 would equal 34. Next example. Here we have g of x equaling x squared plus 4 over x squared minus 3x. So we're finding g of negative 2. So we replace negative 2 and for x. So this becomes negative 2 squared instead of x squared plus 4 over negative 2 squared minus 3 times negative 2. Please use parentheses because if you put it into your calculator without parentheses, you'll get the wrong answer. So for the first one, we have negative 2 squared, which is positive 4 plus 4 over negative 2 squared, which is 4, and negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 4 plus 6 is 10. Now we'll reduce. 2 goes into both, so that gives us 4/5 as our final answer. Our next example, we're going to be replacing a binomial in for x, so we have to be very careful on how we go about evaluating. So again, same process. H of x equals 4x squared minus 2x plus 1, and we're asked to evaluate h of x minus 1. So h of x minus 1 tells us to replace every instance of x with x minus 1. So we have 4. In place of x, we have x minus 1. Don't forget the squared. Minus 2. Instead of x, we put in x minus 1. And then we still have our plus 1 at the end. So x minus 1 squared, remember, is x minus 1 times x minus 1. We don't square just the x and the negative 1. We have to distribute. So you start by multiplying x times both terms. X times x is x squared, and x times negative 1 is negative 1x. Next, we take the negative 1 times both terms. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x, and a negative 1 times a negative 1 is a positive 1. So this would give us x squared, negative 1x and negative 1x, be negative 2x plus 1. So what we can do is, now in place of that x minus 1 quantity squared, we can put in our answer, which was x squared minus 2x plus 1. And we still have the negative 2 times x minus 1 and the plus 1. So next, we're going to remove parentheses by distributing. So we'd have 4x squared minus 8x plus 4. Next, we're going to distribute the negative 2 times each. So this becomes negative 2x plus 2 plus 1. Now combine your like terms. We have 4x squared. Now we're combining negative 8x and negative 2x. So negative 8x and negative 2x gives us negative 10x. And then we combine positive 4, positive 2, and positive 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So our final answer would be 4x squared minus 10x plus 7. Next, we're given a graph. And we're given the graph and it says y equals f of x. Find f of 5. Okay, so notice we have f of x and it asks us to find f of 5. Notice that the 5 has replaced the x. So that means we're going to look for 5 on our x-axis. So 5 on our x-axis is here. So what's the corresponding y value? So all we do is we follow up until we hit the point that's on the graph at 11. So f of 5 would equal 11. Okay, let's say it's asked us to find f of 2 using the same graph. So remember, the 2 replaced the x, so we come on our x-axis until we come to 2, and we follow the graph up, and it intersects at 5. Let's take a look at another one. So here, y equals f of x. Find f of -3. So -3 replace the x, so we're going to look for -3 on the x-axis and find the corresponding point on the graph, which is 3. So f of -3 equals 3. Now let's do some operations on functions. So we're given two functions. F of x equals 2x minus 3. G of x is 4x minus 8. So the first thing it's asking us to do is add the two functions together. So we have 2x minus 3 plus 4x minus 8. Notice I'm using parentheses. You don't always have to, but it will keep you out of trouble if you do. So in order to finish this problem, we need to remove parentheses. If nothing's in front or if there's a plus sign in front, we just drop the parentheses and nothing changes. So we have 2x minus 3 plus 4x minus 8. Combine like terms, so 2x plus 4x is 6x, and -3 minus 8 is -11. Okay, the next example, f minus g. So again, we're going to subtract the 2. So we'll have 2x minus 3 in parentheses minus 4x minus 8. This would be an instance where if you didn't use parentheses, you could get yourself into some trouble. So now, nothing's in front of the first parenthesis, so we can just drop it. So that's 2x minus 3. Remember, when there's a negative sign in front, that's telling us to take the opposite of what's inside parentheses, or some of you put a 1 in front and distribute the -1. Either way, it's fine. So that would give us a -4x plus 8. Now you combine like terms. So 2x minus 4x is -2x, and -3 plus 8 is a positive 5. Our next problem is multiplication. So it says multiply f times g. So we have f of x is 2x minus 3. G of x is 4x minus 8. So we need to use the distributive property or FOIL method. So we're going to start by multiplying 2x times the 4x and the minus 8, then the -3 times both. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times -8 is -16x. -3 times 4x is -12x, and then -3 times a -8 is a positive 24. So combining like terms, we have 8x squared, a -16 and a -12 gives us a -28x plus 24. Our next problem is division. So we're going to take our f function, which is 2x minus 3, and put it over our g function, which is 4x minus 8. So we have 2x minus 3 The denominator we can factor, we can take out a 4, and that leaves us x minus 2. We can't reduce any further than that because nothing goes into both 2x minus 3 and x minus 2 or 4, so that would be our final answer.